Hey there, and welcome to my channel. My name is Crafty Kathy, and I am so happy and thankful that you stopped in to do a little Christmas crafting and chatting with me today. I made these DIYs very simple so that even a beginner can jump in with us and do a little Christmas crafting. I hope that you like these, and it is a part of a playlist. I'm so excited to jump in, so let's go. For our first DIY, I grabbed one of these small cutting boards. I picked these up at Aldi about 2 or 3 years ago. These come 3 in a pack for I think around $8. Don't quote me on that because prices have changed so much. The picture that's on here is pretty faded, so I grabbed DIY paint in the color beadboard. Now this is a transfer that I have on here, and all I do when I need to cover up a transfer is very lightly sand it. That way there's nothing sticking up and you can paint right over the top. It took 2 full coats to cover up that tree totally. And look at this gorgeous rice paper that my friend Brandy from the DIY Struggle sent me. I'm in love with this bottom piece that has the little vintage boy and girl, and that's what we're going to use. I never cut my rice papers out with scissors because I don't like straight edges. Now this is a water pen. I got these off of Temu and they're very cheap, but you don't have to have anything special. You can just wet the end of a small paintbrush and it's the exact same thing. I just went around all of my edges, including those on the outside, because like I said, we don't do straight lines. When you do straight lines, you can definitely tell that it's a picture versus, when it's ripped, it just blends into the background. I got a little bit of the water on mine, so I didn't want it to make it discolored, so I just dried it very carefully. And see how easily this rips whenever you put the water on there? And sometimes you have to add just a little bit more water to get it to rip easily, but just take your time. Make sure that you get all those little pieces, because see here, it's a straight edge and that's a big no-no. We got to get that off there. Now here is our beautiful picture all ready to go, and we're ready for the next step. I am a no-fuss decoupager, and I'm going to tell you what, this glue stick is the easiest way to put down rice paper. I promise you that. Now there's certain times when I still use Mod Podge, but I'm telling you, why would you do that? And then some people go through the trouble of drying the Mod Podge and then ironing it down, when all you got to do is throw down a little bit of a glue stick and bada bing, bada boom. No wrinkles, and it's dry. Now, there are still a select few times that I use Mod Podge, and a lot of people will say, well, the glue stick is not permanent. Guess what? I have permanent glue sticks that I get off of Amazon, and they're only like $4 for 4 of them. I've got those in my Amazon store in case you want some. I'm just going around the edges here. I pushed my fingernail down in those little divots so I would know exactly where to cut at, and I'm using an X-Acto knife just to get that excess off of there. And guys, this is just absolutely the prettiest rice paper. I have this little mold. It's an IOD mold, and I had created this previously. I like to make up a bunch of these ahead of time so I can have them when I need them. I'm still going to paint it white because you definitely want a white background when you're decoupaging, because it makes your rice paper just pop a little bit more. I'm simply just going to use the very ends of my finger and my glue stick to go down here so that we can get our image to stick, because I'm going to use this small piece of the rice paper that says postcard. I don't know why, but I just felt like I really needed to put that on there. I thought that was so cute, and it went with the vibe too. So I'm pushing down the same way that I did before, making that indentation around the piece so that I know where to cut it at. I just want to take a really quick moment to say thank you so much for coming and spending a little time and chatting and crafting with me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would love for you to do that. Also, hit the like button if you're enjoying it. I'm so happy to be a part of this playlist with all these talented ladies. I'm going to leave the link down below so that you can go check them out. We're going to use some Waverly Antique Wax. I just wanted to put a little bit on this, not anything crazy. And one of my favorite methods of applying anything is the good old finger. It just does such a better job sometimes than even a paintbrush does. And I did get a little bit of a paintbrush here so that I could get down in the crevices a little bit more. Like I said, I didn't want to go too dark with this. I just wanted to give it a little bit of an age technique. But it seemed like the more that I put on there, I just wasn't happy with that color. Now, I love this bronzy color. It's antique paste in the color bronze. I get this from Lori over at Milton's Daughter. And guys, I just use this for every occasion. It's kind of my go-to. A lot of times I do use the Waverly Antique Wax, but this color just does something for my soul. Don't ask me what it is. I love it. And I just kind of added it on with a little bit of a paintbrush, and I just felt like it kind of matched the whole rice paper a little bit better than the brown did. Or I guess I should say it's kind of the combination of that antique wax and the bronze that just kind of made me say, yes, this is what I'm going for. I used a little bit of the antique wax and I went all around the edges just to kind of antique it up a little bit, give it like a little bit of an older vibe. And if you put a little bit too much in one spot, don't worry about that at all, because you can go right back over it with the color that your base is and fix that. Now, usually I use the wood glue when I'm putting my molds on. However, my wood glue is at the old house in my other craft room. I didn't have any down here, so I just grabbed the glue gun. And guess what? It did just fine. So here's where I'm telling you, I went a little hog wild with that Waverly Antique Wax. And so I just went back with a little bit of a dry brushing of my base color, which is the beadboard, that white color, just to kind of cover up and blend it all in well. I did feel like I wanted a little bit more of a traditional Christmassy color, and I felt like this DIY paint in the color Aviary was perfect with this rice paper. The green matched so beautifully, and I prefer DIY paint over any paint because it's clay-based, and if you ever try it, I just think that, like, I can't go back. I can use other paints, but I always notice the difference, and I'm just a big fan of the DIY paint. I'm going to go all around this and get the front and the back and the sides, and then I'm going to give it a good drying. Then when I got to the area where the mold was, I just felt like that it would look so much better if I painted it green also and just kind of outlined it with that bronzy color and the Waverly Antique Wax. So I made the quick decision to just go around the edges really quick so that it would all kind of look more cohesive to me. You know, sometimes your projects just evolve like that. You may have one vision in your mind when you start off, and by the time it's over with, you've got everything changed from what you originally had planned. I took a little baby wipe so that I could distress the sides. Now, DIY paint, since it's clay-based, it does need to be sealed. But before you seal it, you can use a baby wipe and just naturally antique it or distress it. Now I'm going to use some of the Rub and Buff. I wasn't sure which color I wanted to use, but I always like this one that has the more bronzy hue to it. And I use that with my finger to go along the edges and around all those little divots because it's going to make it come to life and really pop. When I was happy with the way that my project was turning out, I decided to grab some of these little Christmas twigs that I had just laying around, and I'm just going to cut off a couple of the little pieces at the very top because we don't need too much. This is just going to be to embellish our piece. So see how tiny these little twigs are that I'm cutting off, little sprigs, and I'm just going to place a few of these up at the top. It doesn't take much glue for these to be held down. Just a tiny little bead of my hot glue is going to be plenty sufficient, and I just kept adding on little by little until I was satisfied with the way that it looked. Then I got the idea to grab some of these little ornaments. These are actually like mini ornaments from Walmart. I grab a few of these every year just to use for embellishments. I'm going to take the little bread tie looking dealio off of here. I just cut it off, and I'm going to place this right in the center up here where I put the little twigs. I'm going to glue it down in the middle. And as I was holding it there, I realized that I wanted my bells to really kind of like fray outward. I don't know any other way to say that, but I guess I could say instead of my bells just kind of hanging down, I wanted them to be kind of opened up. And so I'm just going to put down a little bit of glue so that they will be held exactly where I want them to stay at. Just a little tiny bit of glue under each one is going to be plenty sufficient enough to hold them where I want them to stay. And I'm going to cut off this piece of ribbon up at the top because I didn't feel like that was the vibe that I wanted to go with. I'm going to take a few of these little berries that I had in my stash. Who knows where these came from. And I'm just going to clip off the bottoms of them because we don't need that wire. And I'm just going to place a few of these right over the top of my bells. First I thought just a couple, then I added a couple more. Now we're going to get to my favorite part. A lot of people don't like glitter, but I'm telling y'all, I'm a glitter girly when it comes to Christmas time. I love to use my Sue Lynn diamond glitter. You can get this at Walmart or you can get it off of Amazon. Make sure you get the extra fine. Now my Mod Podge was like so old that it was hard as a rock. I did manage to put a little bit of hot water in there just to get enough on this paintbrush. And this paintbrush came from the DIY struggle too, by the way. But I just added a little bit of that over the top of my rice paper and I sprinkled the glitter on there, and I just love that look. We're going to add a little bit of this velvet ribbon. I believe I got this ribbon from Temu, but I'm not 100% sure. And I'm just going to simply tie this up, and this is going to finish off our beautiful little piece, and I hope that you like this.
Christmas is just around the corner, coming up just around the bend.
Now don't forget that today's playlist is all dedicated to the DIY struggle and her beautiful rice papers and transfers. She has a lot of beautiful products for you to choose from, and I'm going to leave the information in the description box and the comment section so that it'll be easy to find. I'm also going to put the playlist there so you can go and support the other ladies and see what DIYs they've created. Now let's move into the second DIY. I found a truckload of these little wooden ornaments for $2 at the thrift store, and this was a few years ago. I've been holding on to them, just trying to figure out exactly what to do with them, and today's the day to make use out of them. I'm going to grab the color beadboard again, which is a DIY paint, and I'm going to paint the front and the backs of a few of these. We're going to use some of her beautiful transfers on these, and I also like a nice white background when I'm doing transfers because it just makes it pop. It makes that image so bright and beautiful. I went ahead and got all of these colored up and got them nice and dry. We're going to use these transfers that come out of this pack that have all these beautiful scenes on them, and they're perfect and they're round. But you also get another page. Let me pull this out and show you how beautiful this is. It comes with a page where you can see both pages of the transfers you're going to get, and see these are Brandy's brand TDS, that stands for the DIY struggle. This one is so pretty with all the beautiful Christmas flowers and the little bird in the middle, but these are the ones that we're going to use. These are the perfect size to cover these little ornaments in such a beautiful way. And let's get started. Now this page has 6 beautiful images, and it also has 6 beautiful sayings. I like her transfers because I like my DIYs to have sayings on them. Like this one is going to be the beautiful buck, and then on the back of it, it's going to say home for the holidays. Now all her little transfers come with this credit card dealio, and all you do is just rub over the top of your transfer after you've applied it down, and you take the plastic right back off of it, and it's down on there. It's good as gold. We're going to flip it over and put the saying home for the, there's no place like home for the holidays on the back. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to use this plastic tool on this one because I like the little plastic tools. They're easier for my hands to grip, and I'm just going to go over this and peel it right back up, and that's one ornament that's totally finished, except for I'm going to use this very small like twine that I got at Walmart years ago, and it's a brown color, so I felt that it matched it perfectly. We're going to do the exact same thing on the next one. This is a beautiful image of the little red truck, and you can see Santa and his reindeer flying over the moon in the background. But you see, you just lay your transfer down, you rub over it, and then boom, you pull it off and it's down. Transfers are one of the easiest things if you are a DIYer. It's so nice to have a gorgeous image on all your different creations. And like I said before, I love that these have sayings. I'm going to do the exact same thing and put the little twine through this one. And I did the exact same thing to the last one. And I love this image so much because it reminds me of what Christmas used to be like back in the 80s when I was growing up. And I just think it's so beautiful. But I love anything that's like vintagey Christmas. You know, it just brings me back to when I was a kid. So I'm going to go over this and put the wording on this very last one. I'm also going to put the twine through. And then we're going to spruce these babies up Kathy style. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was sick and tired of fighting this doggone dried up, dead, done with Mod Podge. So I grabbed the old glue stick and I thought, surely this will work. I mean, it's glue. It's always worked on everything else. Let's try this and see if our glitter sticks to it. And guess what? It sure did. It stuck right on there just like it was meant to be. Now I'm going to put the glitter on the front and the back. And you see what I'm talking about? When you use the glue stick, it goes on purple, but within just a few, like a minute, it dries and it's clear. You can't see any of that, but you can definitely see that beautiful diamond glitter. And I love that glitter because it just, every Christmas, I wear this glitter out, guys. And I don't know what it is about glitter and Christmas, but I think it's just because it brings back some happy childhood memory. I don't know, but I hope you like these. And for our final DIY, I wanted to give you guys an idea on a stocking hanger. Now, I have used this thing before, as you can see, but we're going to spruce it up and we're going to use it again because, hey, things are so expensive. I ain't got the money to be running out and buying all new stuff, so I'm just going to DIY what I have, and we're going to be happy, and we're going to keep on trucking. I'm going to use the color Crinoline this time, which is like a creamy off-white color, and it's DIY paint also. And I went over this, and I gave it 2 quick little coats and dried it up real good. And for this one, I have my eye on this beautiful little bird in the center with these Christmas flowers. Just look how vibrant and beautiful these are. I love the color to these, and this is going to make this little stocking hanger just perfect for me. I'm simply just going to cut out the picture I wanted. And do you see what I mean about how transfers can take just the most simplest project and turn it into something gorgeous when it was just something so simple before. Now look how beautiful this is by just putting this on here. I'm just going to lay it down on here. I'm going to take my little rubbing tool and rub over it. I prefer the plastic one. And I'm going to rub over the top of it. And then I'm going to peel that baby off. And it's going to be gorgeous. When I look back and think of how many times and how many years I have used this one stocking hanger, it's crazy. And guys, I got this at a thrift store years ago. It has a little hanger on the back of it, and I just hang it up every year and keep going. I'm going to use this stuff here that I got from Milton's daughter. It's called Snow Crystal, and when you put it on, it dries, and it literally does look like snow crystal. I mean, there's really no other way to describe it. I'm just going to kind of dab it on these flowers and on the top of the lantern, anywhere where snow would just magically fall. And I'm even going to add a little bit here on the greenery. And this does have a little bit of a wet texture to it, so while it was still wet, I couldn't help but put a little bit of that glitter on there. Can you believe I did that? So I just thought that it was going to be perfect with that glitter and with that snow crystal, and I couldn't figure out exactly which bow I wanted to use, but I finally settled on this one. I get these off of Amazon. They're little pre-made bows. I love them at Christmas. These are in my Amazon store in case you want some. I'm going to glue it on the bottom part here, and I'm going to take some buttons to finish it off. Now the buttons is a signature Kathy move. I love to finish a lot of my little projects up with buttons because they're simple and they're timeless and they are just gorgeous.
Then you know it's Christmas when the snow starts to fall.
Thank you so much if you stuck with me through this whole video. And guys, just have patience with me. Y'all know that I've recently moved my stuff, and it has just been something else trying to get everything together for my crafting and getting back in the groove of doing my crafts and keeping my channel going. And I thank each and every one of y'all for supporting me and helping me through this time. I love y'all, and don't forget to go check out the playlist. Did you know that if you're on a phone or a tablet that you can just press on my face right here and subscribe to my channel? You sure can, and I would love for you to do that. Also, if you enjoyed this content, here's another video that you can tap on and it'll take you there in just a minute. God bless you and your families.